Guys, what is up? Welcome. I'm really happy you're here with me. For those of you who are new, welcome to the closing table. And if you're probably wondering what is the closing table, well, it's basically my podcast where I talk about just things related to marketing in real estate or just topics in real estate in general. It's just a way of discussion. And honestly, it's just kind of an informal way to spread information out there. Now, I say informal because it's more personal. It's not really a whole big production. I just kind of want to talk and get my thoughts out there and see if anybody agrees. See if you agree. And if you do, we can start a conversation on it. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about these topics. Each and every episode is different things that I see on the web, conversations I have with other agents, trends that are going on, news, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm super excited you're here. My name is Julian. This is part of the Real Estate Marketing Masters, the Closing Table podcast series. And in this episode, I want to talk to you guys about side jobs. A lot of agents are out there talking about their side jobs and most importantly, if you should even have one. Now, I have a different opinion from other agents, so I kind of want to share with you about what I think about people that have side jobs that still do real estate. Now, the big question is, should they even have a side job? Should an individual that is practically dedicating their time to real estate, because real estate, obviously you're always growing, you're always developing, there's always new news out there. So you're developing and growing every day. You're learning new things, or at least you should be learning things every day. And so now a lot of agents argue that if you're doing real estate, you shouldn't have a full-time job. Now, some people agree with that and some people don't. So this episode is just going to focus a little bit more on that and what I think, you know, side jobs, side hustles in real estate can do for you and what they prevent you from doing. So let's get started. I've had a couple of conversations with agents that feel as if having a side job takes away time from you that you could be dedicating to real estate. And now that's that's true because while you're focused on maybe setting up an e-commerce store or you have a serving job that you like to get some income from, I still think that having a side job is important because it does two things. So one, it helps you network, it helps you connect with people, it helps you build relationships, it helps you market yourself. But then two, for those who are starting off, a side job really helps fund their real estate. Now, notice I said for those of you who's starting off, because when you're first starting off in real estate, you need capital, you need money to invest back into the business. Real estate marketing is not cheap. There are free and organic ways to do it. But generally speaking, when you're starting off and you're looking for those leads and you're desperate to get a sale in, your best bet is going to be some paid marketing. And there's ways to not spend $1,000 to get a sale. There's ways to spend 100, maybe 200. But those are tips and tricks that you have to learn on how to do in order for that to be successful. Some agents even feel as if their side hustle, their side job feeds referrals to them. So most importantly, I think when we're talking about side jobs in real estate is your intention. What do you plan to do as a realtor, as a real estate professional? Is this something you want to do full time? Is this something you want to do part time? Is it something you aren't really interested in anymore, but you're still getting referrals and people that know you that when you spend your marketing, they still remember you and they reach out to you. I mean, it happens to a lot of agents I know that are no longer practicing, and so they can even turn real estate into a side job. Funny enough, because when you refer a lead to an agent and that closes, you can always get a part of that commission, a part of that paycheck. So that's a way that you can even turn real estate into a side hustle. Now, some agents even feel as if, having a side job makes you seem less professional, because if you're talking to a client and they ask you, "Hey, do you do anything else for a living?" and you say, "Yeah, I do freelance photography," some people can take that as a person who's not fully 100% dedicated to real estate. Now, again, this all depends on your perspective and how you view things. Um, some people need to network and need to do that professional photography freelance gig in order to get leads, and they don't feel like that's unprofessional at all. And that's up to them to decide. And I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm here to simply spark some thoughts and interest and ideas as to what kind of options are there and what both sides provide. So that's one of them. People think that they make you seem less professional, less qualified for some reason, and to each their own. And I've even had conversations with agents that said, you need multiple streams of income to reach that financial wealth. And although that's partially true, there's not one financially wealthy person that only has one stream of income. In order to truly be financially stable, you have to have multiple streams of income and know that if for some reason one stream doesn't do well one month, the other one is going to pick up that slack. And so, like I was saying, although that statement is partially true, I think that in order to become financially stable and wealthy, you need to have multiple streams of passive income. So if you're trading your time for money, uh, if you were to have no more time, or if that time no longer existed, you would lose that stream of income. For example, with the whole coronavirus pandemic thing, a lot of people um, had side jobs that included bartending, serving, maybe working at a coffee shop, uh, like I mentioned, freelance photography, personal trainers. Those people no longer had that stream of income because they were exchanging time for money. And when the time was no longer available because we all had to be on the lockdown, they lost that stream of income. So that's that. I think, honestly, if you have a side job and you're practicing real estate, you definitely need to be good at time management. That's super important because at the end of the day, the clients that you work with are going to expect 110% from you. And your excuse can't be, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have another side job that I do," because this is a real estate transaction. This is one of the biggest purchases somebody is going to do in their entire life. So they want to make sure that you have their best interest and that you're focused solely on their needs, their wants, and their desires. So, for those of you who are either looking into a side job or already have one but find yourself struggling, tighten up on those time management skills. Create automated systems, create automated marketing strategies that'll help you market your real estate business while at the same time you have that side job to fund your business. So, I'm just going to go in a little bit deeper into what funding your business actually means, because some people might get confused. So when I mean funding your business, I mean a stream of revenue, a stream of money that you can use to further market your business, to generate leads, to maybe run some Facebook or Instagram ads, to run some YouTube ads, some Google paid ads, because that's what's eventually going to bring everything full circle. You're going to feed money into those ads, into those print flyers, print door hangers, and that's going to bring back a return in which you will then use that money to again invest into more marketing. Now, I always like to tell agents that yes, although you're getting a commission check, that commission check needs to be split up into three different parts. Obviously, what you can spend, what you need to save, and what you need to invest. Now, those percentages can be different. I mean, some people do 50% for spending, 40% for savings, and then 10% for investments. There's a bunch of strategies out there. You have to define what's tailored best for your needs, sit down and run the financials on that, and then you'll be able to know, hey, you know what? I noticed that maybe a 50-40-10 isn't what's best for me. Maybe I'll try a 20-20-60. You know what I mean? So again, it all depends on what you're looking for and what your intentions are, um, as far as time management and your side hustle. And most importantly, I mean, it's your own time as well. So if you're looking for a side job, or if you're thinking about doing a side job, or if you already have a side job, but you're closing 4 to 5 to 6 deals a month, I find it kind of hard to believe that you're going to be able to have time to not only fully dedicate yourself to all those deals, but also dedicate yourself to a side hustle. Now, there's a difference between hobbies, what you like to do, and what you want to do for money. For example, if you like going fishing, I love going fishing. If you like going fishing and you're closing 4 to 5 to 6 deals a month, that's more of a hobby. If you're maybe teaching other people how to fish, and you're just doing it for fun, but you're still closing those deals, now that's a hobby. I don't really find anything wrong with that. But if you're not even closing one deal a month and you want to go out and fish and teach other people how to fish, um, then I don't really truly see a good return of investment in that, because you're not truly feeding your real estate business. Now again, that's in the perspective of somebody that wants to do real estate full time, and that might not be you, but it's definitely one way to think about it. You have your full-time business, which is your real estate, you have your side job, and then you have your hobbies. So make sure you have that clear distinction as to which one is which, so that you're not focusing your energies on the wrong one. um, and then again, if real estate isn't your passion, then what are you doing? Are you just using a referral system to build real estate as a side job? Or did you completely let your license expire because you thought you were never going to need it? Um, it's up to you. A lot of people that I know have different jobs that allow them to have a lot of connections, and those connections are feeding their real estate business. And I kind of just wanted to touch up on some jobs that I found that online, that kind of show you that you have a lot of time in order to connect with these people. One of those are hospitality. So I mentioned a lot bartending and serving jobs, because bartending is usually something that you can do in the evenings and at night, which means it allows you to have the freedom to be able to show homes and meet up with clients during the day. Now, I do know a couple of agents that do this and have pretty successful strategies and routines. So that's one of the better jobs that allow you to be able to have good connections and feed your real estate business. Another one is people that work in nonprofit organizations. And the reason why that one is so successful is because people with disposable income usually like to belong to a charity, belong to an organization that gives back. Now, this is a great way to make connections. This is a great way to market yourself, introduce yourself to a niche, to a specific community that you might be interested in getting into. So, nonprofit organizations are definitely a good way to go at it. Another one that I think is pretty good is anything that has to do with beauty and wellness. One example that I can think of is a personal trainer friend of mine who uses his connections that he's developed over the years in personal training to get leads in real estate. So now, while you're transforming somebody's body and someone's energy, at the same time, you can transform their wealth by helping them purchase a house and make some smart real estate financial decisions. So that's also another good side job to have while you're practicing real estate. Another one that I found really interesting actually is a friend of mine that works at a bookstore. And they told me that while they're in the bookstore, a lot of people that like to actually pick up physical books um, are still the older folks, the folks that have a little bit more of that disposable money that they can use or assets that they can leverage in order to obtain properties or in order to even introduce you to other people that might be interested in buying real estate or selling real estate. Um, I never really thought about the bookstore job, but it makes sense. Um, and again, these aren't jobs that I'm saying that you're going to meet somebody and everybody's going to turn into a lead. Obviously, you're going to need time to nurture that lead, to gain trust with that lead, to build some sort of relationship and communication with them. So I wouldn't expect everybody that walks into that job, that side hustle of yours, to turn into a closed sale. But what it does do is it gives you exposure for other people that might be interested in you. So now that you've met Bob at the gym, Bob then meets Sally, and Sally is actually interested in owning a house. And she's still in the very early stages, so she hasn't talked to an agent. And that's where Bob introduces you to Sally. And right there and then, you've made a connection, and that side hustle has funded your real estate business. So I hope you guys are making a connection as to what I'm trying to say right now, because it's important. Knowing these things and where to be and how to make these connections and how to have the right mentality of growing your real estate business is important. And then the last one I briefly touched up on as well, and that's a coffee shop job. So think of like a Starbucks type of job. And the reason why this one is also so successful is because people that usually get their drinks or get a meal from Starbucks are repeating customers, people that you see consecutively. Now, these people might have good corporate jobs. They might have a 9 to 5. They might, own construction companies, accountants, people again that are willing to spend premium dollars for the brand that is Starbucks, so that they can also get a quality taste, and people that have extra money. So these are all ways that you can maneuver yourself in there. Now, I would be very careful again with time management and realizing that just because you have now this side job, that you can't dedicate your full time to learning and growing in real estate, because again, you have to know in the back of your mind that this job is solely to fund your business. This job is for you to make connections, and this job is for you to get ahead in real estate. Now, again, I want to be very clear. This is only if your intentions are to do real estate full time. Now, again, I don't want to be, this podcast isn't about telling you what you should or shouldn't do. It's more about just opening a conversation and maybe having a different point of view. There are some people out there that are going to tell you, you know what, don't do it. Don't get a side job. It'll distract you. And those people have a point as well. If you're not very focused, if you're not in your zone, that side job is definitely has the potential to overtake your interest and your desire in real estate. So just be very careful. But at the end of the day, I think the point that I want to get across is number one, should you have a side job in real estate? Well, that's up to you to decide. What are your intentions? Do you want to be a full-time agent? Do you want to be a part-time agent? Or do you simply want to be a referral agent? That's the first question you need to ask yourself, so that you can then shape your decision making into an answer. I mean, if you want to be a full-time agent, are you going to have time to be having side jobs? Are you a full-time agent that has already saved up enough capita from your previous job in order to invest back into a real estate business? Or do you just want to do this part-time? Do you just want to kind of see how it goes and just do real estate when a lead comes up and not proactively looking for leads? That's okay too. Or like many agents I see now do, they're just a referral agent. So they connect buyers and sellers with agents, and that's how that is their side hustle. Now, once you have those questions answered, I think it's going to be a little bit more clear to you as to whether or not you should have a side job. Now, again, everybody's situation is different. This is just an ideal, perfect scenario where you solely have to decide what you want to do, whether it's full time, part time, or referral agent, which I guess can be like a seasonal position if we're talking in those terms. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested honestly to know what you guys think as far as whether or not real estate agents should have a side hustle, a side gig. Um, and remember, just you can always use a side hustle as to a way to grow yourself and better yourself. It doesn't need to solely be to fund your business. But if you're focused and you're dedicated to real estate, that should be your number one goal is to fund that business. If you're just focused on developing multiple streams of income or you just want to make more connections, yeah, go ahead, start a side job, but make sure that it's a side job that you can uh, reasonably do and have time to do while you're practicing real estate. And your calendar will tell you if you find yourself not having time to spend with loved ones, not having time to spend with yourself, not having time to read, grow, develop, and learn new things, then maybe that side job, that specific side job that you're doing right now, isn't the one for you. Maybe you should find another one. But again, that's not up to me to decide. I would say that's up to you as the individual, as the agent to decide. Now, guys, thank you for joining in on this podcast. I'm super happy you've made it through. Um, like I mentioned, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let's start a conversation about your opinions on having a side job while you're practicing real estate. I think now in the 21st century with the internet, phones, technology, it's made it relatively easier to start a side job and be able to automate things. So there's just different ways of viewing things, and I definitely want to know what you have to think or you have to say. And so, yeah, again, check out my website if you want to know more about real estate marketing, if you want to know how you can build connections with people online, how you can generate leads, how you can help more people, how you can close more deals and grow your bank account. That is what this is all about. Thank you again for joining me. My name is Julian, and I'll see you guys on the next one.